Well, guys, Echo is alive. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Clone Wars review for you guys today. Season 7, Episode 2. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm excited to be talking about this episode. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And is either if the Force is with you or in general, if you just love talking Star Wars, I'm going to be doing this every single week. And of course, the best thing about these videos is commenting down below with you guys. So make sure to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Did you guys like this episode? Did you not? What is your favorite part? What are your predictions? What are your theories? Let's discuss it all down there. And of course, full spoilers, like I already mentioned, Echo is alive, so this will be full spoilers. If you haven't seen the full episode of Clone Wars yet, if you're not caught up, understand that and then be warned. Let's get to it though. But after last week's episode, once Clone Wars has finally returned, I really never thought this was ever going to happen, but it's finally here. And just watching this episode really throws me back to the days of when Clone Wars first premiered, and whether it's the original 2D animated Clone Wars series or whether it's this one, I've always loved the Clone Wars era. I think this is still my favorite Star Wars era of any kind, even though I know the prequels are not beloved by people. I've always loved this era so much, and I'm so excited to see what the future of Star Wars could possibly be with this new High Republic stuff, because I like seeing when we get to see the Jedi Order in full contact, and especially with the clones and what they were able to do with bringing the emotion to the clones was one of my favorite parts about the Clone Wars series in general, and I think these last two episodes have really kind of fundamentally put that into my mind, especially when it comes to Rex and showing all the emotions that he has had as a commander, because he has seen so many of his brothers die, and we have as well. And when he finally got to Echo, we're just going to get straight to that part first. It kind of brought a little bit of tears to my eyes, because Echo was one of those coolest clones, and the fact that he's alive and seeing him all tied up in that whole thing, which is, it's disgusting, but it's something that I could see the Separatists doing. And it's a casualty of war, and seeing that war aspect in Star Wars is one of the things that I love. Torture and all those elements have always been prevalent, and I think what I've loved about this is because George Lucas's original creation was kind of an allegory for war, and some of the things kind of go to the Nazis, some of the things kind of go to the Vietnam War, and there's so many different elements in that, and I think Clone Wars has a lot of hidden elements into there as well, while also being, of course, a great show for kids and in general families to come and watch and really dive into Star Wars just a little bit more. And it's always been my favorite thing in that, because I've always believed that this is a show that really can open up, and I think Star Wars shows our way of developing a little bit more of lore, whether it's the whole entirety of this arc, whether it's Rebels or even now The Mandalorian. I'm looking forward to what they do with the future Star Wars properties in these live action formats, or in general in the cartoon formats, because I think cartoon, I mean, I love Anakin in here, and I think this is the best way. This is, like, it makes me actually believe in his transformation to Darth Vader throughout this whole entire series, but also feel for the emotion of him, and even Padme. I love the character of Padme inside the show, while some of her relationship aspects with Anakin throughout the whole entire season have been hit or miss for me at times, just because of sometimes how he won't let her just do what she needs to do. I love their little touching moment in here. And that was one of the strongest things in this episode as well, when they got to have that little bit of conversation and really feeling for both of them. And, you know, that also tugged at the heartstrings as well, knowing where the future of this relationship had gone. And I hope I'm not the only one in that part, but I'm so curious to see where they really take this. And of course, we still haven't seen Ahsoka and where that's going to happen for her as well. There's so many little elements in here that I just know where it's building up to. And I've already said my theory last week, and I'll say it again. I really do think this season's going to end with Order 66. I know the last arc of this whole season will be the Siege of the Mandalorian, but I have to imagine that there will be sort of that tie-in to Order 66, and I'm curious to see when we finally get there. And I think it also planted some of the stones of what's going to happen with the Bad Batch. Now, I understand that there are some unfinished episodes out there that kind of know where these arcs are going to go. I don't know anything about those. I saw someone commenting about that last week, and I don't really want to know. And feel free to comment down below and like if you want to talk about it down there and how they change stuff. I think that is pretty cool, but I still fully believe the Bad Batch is reporting to, of course, Palpatine himself. And I think that kind of just set the stone there when they're asking him those questions. And I think they're going to tie into this season very much later on, especially with that Order 66. I could be completely wrong, but who knows? We're going to find out there in a second. But yeah, that Padme moment was great. Finding Echo was great. Really, kind of that whole moment with them all hooked up kind of threw me back to the days. If you ever played Gears of War, seeing some of the elements with Dom and his wife kind of just took me back to there. And I'm hoping they can get Echo out alive. I guess we'll find out next week at 1 a.m. again, and I can't wait to find that out. The other thing I also wanted to throw into this episode, again, same thing goes from last week. The animation is superb. I love what they were able to do with it all, and really the dynamics that they're really able to take, and fundamentally how great it looks in this season, how big of an uplift it's gotten. But I think the way that I love is how adventurous, how action-packed these episodes are. And I threw out last week how the last episode really reminded me of Republic Commando. We need a video game of the Bad Batch. A 4-player shooter action film game I'd be totally down for. I think it's intense. I think it's fun. And that whole thing when they get the ambush coming in at them, you see the Bad Batch all working together. You see Anakin force pushing and throwing out his lightsaber. Man, I got all jittery. I got him. I'm like, yeah, go, go, go. Love that type of stuff in the Clone Wars. And this new alien species as well. I mean, maybe it's not new. I don't really remember this alien species ever seen before. I really liked them. They were kind of cool looking. I like the design of them. And even though they're only in the episode for such a small amount of time, you know, again, it kind of goes back to some of those earlier Clone Wars episodes that we've seen in other seasons and other arcs of seeing how other species were pretty much gotten into the middle of these wars. And God, this is still my favorite era. I love this era, and this whole show has really fundamentally made me feel that way, and I'm just so happy with it. Guys, before I give you guys my final thoughts on the season, on Season 7, Episode 2, Distant Echo. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this episode. Did you guys like? Did you not? Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you are Force sensitive, or in general if you just love Star Wars. Let's discuss it all the time, every single week leading up to the finale. Thank you guys again, seriously, for watching this. And if you guys want to check out films early, head over to Sam Michelle Films. And of course, this is a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So, A Distant Echo was another great installment to the Clone Wars. This is seriously still my favorite era, a lot of it due to this show in particular. The Bad Batch is awesome. I'm loving the action sequences we're getting every single week leading into them. Rex just shows more of why he is my favorite clone, and Anakin Skywalker and his fundamentally kind of just going down that path that we know he's going to end to in Revenge of the Sith. It's heartbreaking while at the same time perfection. I love the touching moment between him and Padme, kind of tugged at the heartstrings a bit for me, and of course them finally finding Echo was a big, oh my god, he's alive. And man, oh man, he don't look good. And I know there's only 2 more episodes for the Bad Batch era and the whole arc of this, so I'm curious to see where that all goes in its entirety. Lots of good little things in there. Also really like the Obi-Wan jab when he says, I hope you told Padme that I said hello. I'm like, yes, he knows. We know Anakin, you know Obi-Wan's a little bit smarter than that, but I enjoyed it, and this was just another great episode. I get a big smile. I can't believe I'm still saying this, that I get to watch a new Clone Wars episode. I feel like I'm 8 again. Like, I really feel like I'm 8 again, but it's great. And me and Baby Yoda got to sip the tea, spill the tea, and let you guys know our thoughts. So make sure to get in a comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this episode, and I can't wait to talk with you guys next week. So, of course, until next time, may the Force be with us all.